Welcome back to the broadcast for today still on the topic of child rights protection and welfare. Thank you very much for always tuning on to join us for this broadcast. You know, this week, from the last broadcast I did, it's been, like I would say, I've been reading sad news about children being maltreated, molested sexually. And there's a current trending news that a 13-year-old girl will go by the name Ochaya from Benue State. It's such a sad news. She was raped. Every hole in her body were molested and destroyed for 5 years, and she was just 8 years old when her auntie's husband and the son started molesting this girl sexually till she couldn't take it anymore for 5 years. So as for me, going on social media, seeing those kind of things, it's just sad news. Sad news. And I would say that the most painful part of that situation is that the culprit, that man and his son, are still walking out there free. That's what pains me most, because the girls in question is dead. They don't deserve to walk free. There's no excuse, and there's no pardon for such acts on a child. Another news I read is about a father sexually defiled his 5-year-old child. Then the second child, 2 years or 3 years or thereabouts, is what I read. Then it comes to the Sudanese, genocide that's happening, that's affecting the children, the women. So for me, I've been reading news that they're not friendly to read. They didn't make me happy. Reading those news doesn't make someone happy at all, And I will say this, that you have no business as an adult to be sexually attracted to a child. You have no business. You have no business getting married to a child. You have no business having sexual attraction to a child. You have no business getting a child pregnant. You have no business. If you feel, if there's a glimpse that you feel sexually attracted to a child, let me tell you something. You are a dog. Because I have dogs in my house. When they are on heat, they have no self-control. So the breed in my house right now is that they are not meant to mate. So what the female dog gave birth to, she gave birth to 5 puppies, and now they are grown. So the male puppies are advised not to mate with the mother when she's on heat the next time. Neither are they advised to mate with their sisters. That is not allowed, else there will be complication. But we the owners of the dog, we have to put eyes on them. We have to separate them and make sure that doesn't happen. One time we got carried away and it happened. The male dog that she gave birth to mates with the mother, and the vet has to advise us that we make sure that she doesn't conceive, that there were going to be complications or something. So what I'm trying to say is that a dog does not know who his family is. A dog went to mate with his mother. That is a dog. So you are sexually attracted to your daughter, or saw a child that is related to your wife or your family member, or a child under your care. You will tell me you are sexually attracted to this child to the extent that you carry out the act. Man, you are not a man. What I will tell you today, that what runs in the system of a dog runs in your system, not that of a human being, because you are not human. Yes. Because this is so painful. Everywhere. Raptures everywhere. What are you enjoying? Penetrating a child. That you carried your dog. You are a dog. And I always say, it will hurt God if when you were just in a liquid form, they would have flushed you out. I don't think God will be angry with anybody. Any woman who did that. Because what are you doing here? You are here carrying your leprosy manhood and be penetrating children. You are a dog. Yes. You are a dog. So you shouldn't live among women. You shouldn't live among human beings. You shouldn't be allowed to live where human beings are. You belong to the cage, and your cage is where? Prison. In fact, grave is where you should be. Yes. You are raping children, you are killing them, all manners of things. And the most painful thing is that you are walking out there free. And it's so painful that the system allows you to walk free. It didn't come for you. It did not apprehend you the way it should be. You walk free. Shame on you. Shame on you. And shame on anybody who is your friend, who is relating with you, who is in contact with you, who sees you as a human being. Shame on all of you. And let me tell you, you are cursed. For every curse that the mother of the child or each and every one of us lay on you, it comes to you. And you will not escape it. You touch the child sexually, even if because there are male children going through this thing. Even if you're a woman, you do that, or whatever way you do that. Shame on you, and you are a cursed thing, because you're not a human being. You are a thing. You are a dog. So on today's episode, last week, I was talking about risk. I was trying to touch risk factors and vulnerabilities. So that's what I want to be talking about today. So when we discuss child protection, it is better you understand the underlying risk factors and vulnerabilities associated with abuse and neglect. You have to know what are the risk factors. So when you know all these things, it will potentially reduce the likelihood of maltreatment, or at least minimize its severity. That's the abusive severity that is likely to happen. So the more we know how to protect children, the more we know these risk factors, the more we'll be able to handle things. Like I said last week, if you want to solve a problem, if you do not have the knowledge of what the solution of that problem is, what will go wrong, you are likely not to know what to do to solve the problem at all. So in this case, we are talking about child rights protection. So I have here child-related risk factors. So what are the child-related risk factors? Like, every child is unique, but some characteristics or conditions can increase how vulnerable they become. So one of the risk factors, child-related risk factor, is developmental disability. We have children with intellectual, emotional, or physical disabilities. This will expose a child to be at higher risk due to how dependent this child is on either a caregiver or anybody in charge of the child. The children are not developing the normal way a child should. Do you understand? So this makes them vulnerable to abuse. Like the caregiver, the person in charge of the child may get frustrated or misunderstanding. The person might not understand how the child feels at the moment because the child cannot express his or herself. So they have inability to report abuse effectively. So even when someone is abusing these children with developmental disability, they cannot communicate it. So they stay in that abuse as long as the abuser is with them. They stay there and get abused anyhow. Let's say it is sexual abuse, emotional abuse. I mentioned that, emotional and psychological abuse, physical abuse. Though the physical abuse, you can at least you can see the signs, but something as sexual abuse, you might not really know until the thing escalated, like the Benue girl situation. She was wearing diaper. Yeah, her bladder could no longer hold urine. She was wearing diaper. That's the only reason we even know that this child that has developmental disability has been sexually abused by someone, by some idiots. And how did that end up? Her life was taken. She was killed. She died. They lost her. So another child-related risk factor is young age. Yeah, like infants, young children, due to their dependency and inability to protect themselves or speak out, they are at heightened risk to abuse and neglect. The third one is previous abuse. A child who has been abused once or twice is at a higher risk of fear and repeated abuse. In my case, when the driver came and tried to rip up my clothes, I reported it, so nothing was done about it. Then others started coming. So the situation was like, there could be a situation that, okay, this person has tried, let me go and try. Like Ochanya, the Benue, the late Ochanya, may I so rest in peace, because anytime I mention her name, this kind of thing just kind of pains me so much. When the son, that's our cousin, raped her, the sister, Winifred, reported to the father. That was when the father, the spirit of dog, entered into the father. The father now started his own too. Two of them, two grown fools, digging holes in the body of a child. So the father wasn't doing it before. When the son started, it was reported. Instead of them to do something about it or get that boy arrested, that didn't happen. Instead, the father joined the boy. They did what they had to do. Now the guy is gone. So previous abuse, if not, something is not done about it, open more rooms for repeated abuse, to continue. So those are the child risk factors. Then we have family and caregiving risk factors. Like I will always say, the environment in which a child is raised plays a significant role in determining their safety and well-being. So, number one family and caregiving risk factor is parental history. Like parents who have experienced childhood abuse or have a background of substance abuse may be more likely to continue the cycle of abuse. That's why I'm saying that this thing runs in the cycle. If you abuse a child today, that child carry that invisible and inner trauma, scars. That child, and if he or she does not get healing in the long run, he or she is likely to abuse their own children, any other child that falls under them. That's how this thing works. So when you love a child, that like my mentor always say, you cannot give what you don't have. So when people are giving you some kind of energy, watch it. What do they have? If you have love, you are going to dispense love. If you have abusive and tormenting trauma in you, that is what you are going to dish out to anybody under you, or even the one you cannot even control, because it is already in you. That is what was done to you, and you were not opportune to get healed. So you feast on others. So the number one family and caregiving risk factor is parental history. You know that thing that parents will say, they used to do it to me. Do you know how I used to do it? My parents used to do it to me, so I will do it to you too. That's wrong. You were born, I'm a millennial. We are talking about generation Alpha, Gen Z as a moment. So I will now use the mentality in which my parents used to raise me, used to correct me, used to, do things with me to be relating with a generation Z or generation A. That's Alpha. That's nonsense. Because they have different mentality, they have different exposure. Don't do that. You don't say, my parents used to do this to me, so that's the way. But when they were doing it to you, we're not happy. We were not. It's one of the things that makes your growing up sucks. So why are you doing it to the children around you? Another one is stress. Under family and caregiving risk factor is stress and coping skills. Yes, I've seen this one. This one that the father, they just gave birth, pandemic setting, the mother quit the job, so everything they became frustrated. They were coping to even pay bills in the house. You know how Lagos is. So the little child that they gave birth to became the victim of every shouting and the madness that was happening between the husband and the wife. I have to call the wife. So why is the husband always? The other day, I think he was trying to eat something. The little girl just crawled. You know these children, when you are eating, they just put their hands inside your food. Tell the man screamed. Is this the child you are screaming at? You are saying something to the child does not understand. What I heard is, what is your problem? Are you okay? And I was there. What is your problem? I said, are you asking this child what is her problem? Does she understand what you're saying? As you sounded, that one is just looking. The food is in her hand, in her mouth. Want to do another one. What is your problem? With a loud voice. I will tell the wife, your husband shouldn't be doing this now. Why is he shouting at this girl like this? So it was actually frustration, coping skills, and stress. So the level of stress combined with low coping resources can increase the potential for abuse and neglect. A parent that are not happy, they don't have enough resources, issues, family issues, they can vent on the kids or any child around them. Another one is domestic violence. Yes, a household where domestic violence is present. This can directly or indirectly place children at risk. Yeah, emotional risk, physical. Yes, physical. Where there is domestic violence, physical is there, emotional is there. So it just places a child at an abusive situation, So these are the things. Then another thing is that what I would say is that the more you even know, it's like the more you know something, the more you know how to navigate. You are going through stress as a family. By the time you know that Sometimes some people don't know why they're acting the way they're acting. They just feel that's how they feel, that's normal. But if you know that, oh, because I'm stressed, because there's no money in the house, that is why I am unhappy. Therefore, as a good father, as a good mother, as a guidance, I shouldn't take it out on my children. The person you should be talking to is look for God to help you. Not you sitting down and taking out this situation on the child. Doesn't even help the situation. Doesn't even help the matter. It will only help you to raise timid, fearful, and incompetent children. Yeah, traumatized children. That is the kind of children you are going to end up raising. That's what you are allowing that situation to help you do. Destroying the children around you. Okay. So we have the societal and community risk factor. So the broader the environment, the crucial the role it will also play. How broad is the environment that the child is also play a crucial role in the safety of a child. So under societal and community risk factor, we have social isolation. Social isolation simply means families with limited social ties or community involvement. They may lack the support mechanism to prevent maltreatment. So having a good circle that supports you and your family, it's a good thing to do. Even if it's your community people, your family people, there's social ties that help support your family. That's a good circle to keep. You do not isolate yourself. I don't know why you're even isolating yourself. Do you want to be talking to the world? I'm not saying you should go into negative gathering, negative association. There's such thing as positive relationships. It will help you when you need something, when you need help. Those are the kind of circles you should have. The family should have, children should have, some things like that. Then we have under the societal risks, we have the poverty and economic stress. We all know this one. Financial difficulties. This can exacerbate family stress. We all know what all this is all about all over the world. This leads to increased risk factors. That is one of the societal risk factors that expose children to abuse and neglect. Then we have the cultural norms. Anytime you study around these cultural norms, it's so annoying. They put in a, what would I call it, an enslavement policy in a culture and traditional ways to enslave people. So some societies they have norms or beliefs that condone or overlook certain abusive behaviors like child mutilation, female mutilation, child marriage, an environment that female children are not are put down, so many things that expose children to abuse. So those are the three under societal and community risk factor. Then we have the environment risk factor. So to effectively protect and support children, it is crucial to have a comprehensive understanding of various risk factors and vulnerabilities associated with child abuse, and neglect. So by being strongly informed, yeah, you need to be strongly informed, equipped with knowledge. Individual can create a nurturing environment. With all what I've been teaching, I'm trying to tell you what the problems are and what the solutions should be. If you put them into practice, you will realize that you are creating a nurturing environment for children to grow, to flourish, and to develop. So when you do this provides timely intervention, security. You can intervene when it's needed. Because I'm not saying that you listening to me and creating the necessary infrastructures and facilities that is needed to raise a child is not going to wave away some idiotic behavior or abuse towards children. It's not going to do that. But when you are creating this environment, when this a nurturing and a preventive environment is created and is stronger, this is like, how I put it, evil, good over evil, kind of. So there's a stronger environment that protects children. There will be less abuse, and there will be swift intervention when needed. So, and above all, prioritizing an environment that prioritizes the well-being of the most vulnerable population. So the most vulnerable population among us are the children. So those are the risk factors that we must know and then look into them. So what are the impacts of abuse and neglect on a child development? So child abuse and neglect have lasting effects on a child's development. So it affects multiple areas of their life, such as physical health. A child that is abused physically is likely to have a long-lasting effect on his or her physical health, emotional well-being, cognitive activity, and social interactions. So those are some of the effects that abuse and neglect on a child. So when you understand these consequences, there are more. When you understand these consequences, emphasize it's a crucial need for child protection measure, while also guiding effective intervention and support systems. That's what we need to protect children. So I'm going to talk about the physical development. How does abuse and neglect affect a child's physical development? So abuse, particularly physical or neglect, can cause immediate injuries like bruises, burns, scars, fractures, and even life-threatening harm in the long term. Repeated instance of physical abuse, this can lead to a delay in growth and development of a child. Now that the child is at stunted growth, the child is not developing well, the child is not acting his or her age, something went wrong. So neglected children may experience malnutrition. When we talk about things like having good, proper nutrition for children, that's why people like us will come to you. As I speak to you, there are still children out there, they are not sure of where they are going to have their first meal of the day. They are not sure where they are sleeping. School is back. most of them have been out of school. Most of them, they have never experienced what it means to be in a school, in a classroom, to be taught by a teacher, because there is no resources. That's what the foundation life has. Those are the kind of children we go after. Those are the kind of family that we go after through your assistance. So when a child is neglected, the child will experience malnutrition, which will result in stunted growth and weakened immune system. Furthermore, abuse can cause chronic pain or illness that persists into adulthood. How painful is that? A child carried the pain of an abuse that was done to him or her into adulthood and live by it. Would that ever be a happy human being? And if not, how is that person going to relate with people? People that will surround him or her. So those are some of the effects of physical abuse, how it affects a child physically. Then let's talk about how abuse and neglect can affect a child emotionally and psychological development. Because the long-lasting abuse goes beyond physical wound that you're seeing. Children who suffer from abuse or neglect often endure traumatic experience that can result in conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder, that is PTSD, depression, anxiety, and attachment disorders. So these children may struggle to regulate the emotions, leading to outburst, withdrawal. They just have some, you have some adults with some kind of behavior that if you have the knowledge of what I'm talking about, you will realize is some underlying child abuse and negligence that was done to them. So they are going through the PTSD. That's what they are going through. That's why they are adults and they are acting the way they are. They need help. These people still need healing. So sometimes it might lead to self-harmed behavior. You see a child that wants to commit suicide, even an adult, because of what they went through. The thing is affecting them as an adult, so they want to commit suicide. So their sense of self-esteem and worthiness can be profoundly affected, leaving them with feeling of being unloved or undeserving of love. So those are some of the effects of how abuse and neglect affect a person from a child to an adulthood, emotionally and or psychologically. How it affect them. Then we have the cognitive development. So children who experience abuse or neglect may have disrupted cognitive development. This could include delay in language development. I know a child of 14 years who could not write his name, who could not count from 1 to 20, who could not recite the ABC. 14 years. You're like, what? Yes. These are some of the things. So if the child brain cognitive development has been tampered with. Yes. So this could include delay in language development, difficulties in concentration, and learning disabilities. Like this child, there was a period I had to, because one of his aunts brought him home to go to school, thinking that changing of environment could help. So they put him in one of the best schools then. So I had a chance one weekend to put him through his homework. My head was hot because I couldn't help the child. whatever you are explaining to this child, he wasn't getting it. He's not getting it. So I was frustrated. So they may struggle. So I wasn't longer. I'm no longer this. I don't know what happened to the child afterwards. So they may struggle academically, and may have lower IQ scores. So experiencing trauma at a young age can hinder brain development and cognitive functions, making learning and comprehension challenging for that child. Then we have the social development. Adult abuse and neglect affect a child socially. So childhood abuse and neglect can have a deep impact on interpersonal relationships. Individuals who have experienced such trauma often face challenges in forming healthy connections with others, rooted in issues of trust and fear of abandonment. That's how it affects their social development. This may result in social isolation. It will be difficult for them to establish friendship or maintain a relationship. Like they will just generalize everybody as bad. I don't have friends, so they're good friends, please. Bad friends are the ones you discard. But when you now generalize everybody as bad, there's a problem. Because in this life you will need people. You will have to deal with people. So if you now see everybody as bad, something is wrong. There must be someone that is good to you. But when everybody is bad, something is not right. So as they enter adulthood self, they may encounter difficulties in developing intimate partnership or effectively parenting their own children. Do you see how this thing takes? Do you see how deep it is? When you find pleasure in abusing a child, either physically, emotionally, sexually, or you neglect the child, these are the damage you are creating in the life of a human being. So that is it for today. So I will end here today. When I come your way by next Sunday, I'll be talking about breaking the cycle of abuse and neglect of child rights. So I want to say thank you very much for always joining us. So I speak to you under Rebecca Udom Foundation. We need your support. We need your partnership. We need your volunteer. As I speak to you, there are still children out there who need help. So you are likely to see my personal account details on the caption, the description part, because the foundation is currently undergoing a legal registration with the CSC at the moment. So when that is done, you will be seeing the organization, the foundation account. It is where you can support us, for us to help children. There's a lot to do to help these children and these families. So you can follow me also. All my handles are there, my TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, so that you can reach out to us, or if you want to partner with us, or anything you want to, talk to us about. So I want to say thank you very much. My name is Rebecca Udom. I'm a family psychology specialist, focus on protecting the rights of children, focus on helping children to stand so that they can also stand for others. Thank you very much, and do have a wonderful Sunday.